welcome back Harvesting Heritage. I'm Channing and today we're in the garden. I am in Northern California, Bay Area, Zone 9B, and we've even made the news, so I'm sure you're aware we've been getting a lot of rain. So since we have a break, I've had these huge piles of both mulch and soil covered so that they didn't get too heavy and saturated with rain. So at the very first chance to be able to get them onto my garden, we would. And so that's what we've been up to all day yesterday. I will admit, I need help. That is tons of weight, like actual tons, I think 3 or 4 tons of weight that were there. So I did hire some help. I have a great gardening team that helps support me on a project basis. And so we've been really focused on getting rid of the weeds and mulching and preparing the bed that I call my vine area. We've also prepped my upper beds in my raised bed garden. And we've done some planting, which is really exciting. And we've also been hard at work at what I call my redwood forest. So that's my front area. And guys, the weeds here, because of all of the rain that we've got, were this full, if you can imagine. Now this land right here, that is the freeway. This land is maintained by Caltrans, and so they come in and mow that periodically and keep it safe from buyers. There's also a creek that runs down here. That's why I get so many deer in my garden. But this area, and going all the way down where this row of trees are, that is our property that we need to maintain, and we've done nothing since we moved in a year ago to maintain that, except for Sean got me a really beautiful statue called Florentina for my birthday, and so we've placed her. My mom found these really great concrete benches that we've placed around Florentina. So what we're trying to do here is actually get weed fabric down. Now I know there's a lot of people and opinions that are against weed fabric, but in this front area it is actually a necessity because of all of the weeds that grow in this area. The plan is to actually, now that the weed fabric is going down, we're going to build pallet pathways, so a loop around Florentina. We want to have that really beautiful pallet walkway, and my plan is that wherever the walkway ends up being drawn out around Florentina, I'm going to spray what I think that will look like, and then we will cut out the fabric after we lay everything down. We get some mulch in, we'll cut out the garden beds that I end up doing all of my flowers in. So let me give you a look at what we've accomplished. So here you go. You'll see when we first did put the fence in last year, I did do one strip of weed fabric around the entire fence line so that we wouldn't get weeds coming up into the fence area. I also had 2 clematis plants planted, but of course the deer kept eating it down. So I'm hopeful. We've dug them out and I've potted them up. I'm going to let them grow on, see if we can save them, and we'll end up planting them on the inside of the fence to protect them from the deer a little bit more. And then I'm going to look for another type of vine. My idea is that this entire fence line will be covered in beautiful vines over time. So that's the plan there. One quick note, the placement of the weed fabric around these trees is not going to stay this way. So they've made it really tight to try to kill down any of the weed seed bank left after they've hand pulled everything that's already been removed. We want to just do a blackout, kill the rest of the seed bank, and then once I have the mulch prepared, we will actually cut large rings around these trees so it's not suffocating up against their trunks. But for a couple of months, this is going to be totally fine and actually help support our needs. The same as this is a peony that I planted last year. So we will make these all much wider once the seed bank has kind of been died off. So you'll see here as well. We're also today going to be cutting these posts are. We're going to cut those down. I want to still identify where our line is. So you'll see that there's barbed wire, so that's not going to work. It's not safe. So we're just going to clean that up and make this an even more beautiful space. So I've got 2 peonies because I knew there's another one over here. I knew those take a lot of years to grow. And this whole area is actually a sunny place, but then once we get underneath the redwoods and the oak trees, and there is even quite a large pine. This is a pine here. The soil underneath redwoods are very acidic, so it's limited what we can grow. So let me just bring you in and show you Florentina. I don't think I've shown her up close. I have some alliums that are growing underneath her. She's so beautiful. And we will be leveling out these benches and putting down something, maybe pouring concrete or having a few stones underneath them. In a perspective, the house is over here, and this is our front side yard. And then besides the 2 peonies, the only other thing that I have planted is our, oh wow, you can tell it's been raining. This is a bloomerang dark purple lilac from Proven Winners. Now, technically it's a little too warm for this to bloom, but I do see some blooms coming out, so we might get lucky periodically and see this bloom. It's worth the risk for me, and I have the space, so I've gone ahead and planted even though it may not always work. And then here's the peonies that I have planted. We were convinced it was so dead, but sure enough, here she comes. Let me also show you what we're doing, what we were able to do over here. So you'll see I got the black mulch fully in this area, which is raspberries, green grapes, and blackberries. We ran out of mulch. I cannot believe how big that pile was, that is how much mulch we ended up being able to cover. So I will have another big bucket coming. And then some of our irises are coming up, and we've cut down a few perennials. I have, back here I have some wisteria vine that I'm hopeful will fill in this area. And we bought this beautiful rose that's gonna go in the center on the back and start covering up this area. So it'll be this yellow buttery color and the wisteria purple coming from both sides, because I have a wisteria here as well. This is our new magnolia tree. This, I think that is gonna be stained. And of course this is all new concrete that we had put in this year, this last year actually. We have bought a power washer, so video to come. We're going to try to power wash all of this once the soil gets picked up. And all of the bulbs that we started are doing really well. You can see the work we did there. But again, you can see that this is all fresh. So I have potatoes now planted, red and white potatoes. These are my these are elephant garlic, and then I have clematis in the center here, and that one actually came back much sooner than this one, clematis, and I'm going to do some sweet peas on these as well. And then this is fully ready for probably my squash, I think. And then what else did I plant yesterday? Yesterday I also got this planted with fava beans. We have some radish, baby bok choy, spinach, cilantro, my full carrot bed, and then these are my shelling peas for the year. All right, well that's it. That's all that we got done really yesterday, because I'm so blessed to have as much help, and I'll give you an update later today. All right, it's an afternoon check-in, and all of the work that's going to be done before our next rain has been completed. I feel like we made so much progress. I'm looking out at my beautiful weed fabric and thinking it's pretty exciting, because in my mind I can imagine my brand new walking path made out of pallets. I can imagine the planting areas I can fill in, and I can imagine all of the beautiful lush plants that are going to love this shaded area. Let me give you a tour. So here you go, washed down. Now, unfortunately, and warning to the wise, do not put black mulch on your concrete and think that you can have a month of rain and not have it stain. We will figure out a way to get that clean. If you have ideas, please put it in the comments. But we'll be needing to clean that up more. But like I showed this morning, we had a ton of our soil and mulch put down. But you'll also notice in the back that we've completely weeded the back side of the fence and trimmed the wild grasses, so that will be prepared for this year to not seed and then spread its seed into my garden. And then as we go out into the redwood forest, you will notice that we now fully have all of the fence and barbed wire down. We have all of the irrigation picked up, all of the weed fabric that goes completely down to about the end of our property. We also even limbed up a couple of trees that had some weird spots on them. So overall, it's looking really clean and ready for some mulch. A laborious project, and I'm thankful that I had help. What it allowed me to do today was actually get a couple of plants into the garden, and so I'm going to take you up and show you the fun plants that I got started. Because so I've put in sweet peas. So these will be beautiful sweet peas that mingle in with the clematis on both sides. I've pulled out some of my started lettuce, and then all of these arches are also going to have sweet peas. And finally today I did get some of the rubber edging put onto my beds. That's been a slow work in progress, because again, these beds are brand new to me as of last year. So we've still been working on, you can see the edging isn't there. All right, well, that was a great day in the garden. Of course, I was in my office most of the day, but it was so exciting and fulfilling to watch something I just knew had to happen, get done, some spring cleaning that prepares us to have an amazing season. If you liked this video, please consider subscribing and following along with me and my mom as we do projects together that keep us connected. And until next time, I hope you have a joy-filled day. Thanks, guys.